Joining me on set, Molly Hemingway, Fox News contributor, editor-in-chief at The Federalist, Mike Davis, president of Article 3 Project, former clerk for Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. Also with me is Harmeet Dillon, chairwoman of the Republican National Lawyers Association. Mike, let's start with you. What does AG Barr get wrong?
Well, I'm not sure if he is just starved for attention now. I'm not sure if he just has a willful misunderstanding of the law. Maybe he's peddling his book. But he clearly knows. He's the former Attorney General twice. He was the Deputy Attorney General before that, and he ran the Office of Legal Counsel at the Justice.
He's really smart, by the way.
He's a very smart guy, and so he knows that he's just wrong as a matter of law here. He knows that a President of the United States has the absolute constitutional power to declassify anything he wants. He knows that a president has the absolute statutory power under the Presidential Records Act to take and maintain these records in the office of former president, classified or non-classified. He knows it is legally impossible for President Trump to have violated any law in the way he took and maintained these records in Mar-a-Lago. So I'm not sure where Bill Barr is coming up with these theories. It doesn't sound like he read Judge Cannon's opinion, because it was a pretty even-keeled, reasoned opinion. He clearly didn't read it.
Harmeet, you also have a theory on this in reference to the precedent that does exist on the special master question. Explain.
Well, Laura, the very practice of a taint team, which is what the DOJ has been relying on for many years to deal with the inevitable circumstance of seizing people's property in a search warrant and getting privileged information, is flawed. And in fact, the federal courts are beginning to pick up on this. And there's an important opinion out of the Fourth Circuit that Judge Cannon referenced in her opinion appointing a special master that says that it is quite possible that the taint team situation, which is the DOJ itself being the umpire of whether something is privileged or not, that violates the separation of powers, because it is firmly within the purview of a federal judge to do that, and the judge typically will farm that out to a special master. So to be clear, the special master reports to the court, and it's the court's duty to call balls and strikes over what's privileged and what's not, and privilege includes all the privileges. So yes, there is a dispute in front of this court between the government and the former president as to the privileged nature of these documents. But the court is saying, let's sort that out and let me decide that. And the government is saying, the government is ignoring in its filings that dispute. It is asking the court and threatening the court that if you don't treat all these things as presumptively our property, things that are marked classified, then we're going to appeal this to the 11th Circuit. And I don't even think the appointment of a special master is appealable under normal precedent in the 11th Circuit.
I agree with you, Harmeet. And Molly, I want everyone also to see how damaging the selective leaks that we've been talking about can be. Here was Leon Panetta today over at MSNBC.
These most sensitive documents have been thrown into a box and brought to a country club in Florida, where there's a very good chance our most important secrets could have been compromised as a result of that. I think this is a serious matter.
Molly, that from the former CIA director who called the Hunter Biden, details disinformation.
Well, these selective leaks that you're getting, where people in the FBI and Department of Justice are going straight to the Washington Post and straight to the New York Times, just like they did with their Russia collusion hoax, is one of the reasons I was a little surprised to see a former Attorney General Bill Barr seem to fall for these selective leaks. He understood how that game was played when he was dealing with the Russia collusion hoax. He should understand that that is the same game that is being played now. But the thing about these leaks, they will be eventually debunked, but they're putting forth false narratives and dangerous narratives, but they also kind of undermine themselves. They claim that this information was so mishandled down at Mar-a-Lago. Well, nobody knew anything about this. None of this was showing up in the pages of the Washington Post or New York Times until the FBI and DOJ got their hands on it.
So they themselves
they were just
are compromising the information.
And it undercuts their own claims.
And the issue of the nuclear capabilities of other countries, the CIA, I believe, has its own website that gives a lot of this information about, right?
We might point out, too, the original leak to the Washington Post was that Donald Trump had nuclear codes and he was about to set off a bomb or something like that. Well, that just kind of quietly went away, and then it was replaced with, well, he had non-classified information about other countries' nuclear capabilities, which is a huge drop down in drama and shows how these leaks take a long time to be shown to be false.
Now, Mike, I want to read part of the argument that the government made today. They said the injunction against using classified records in the criminal investigation could impede efforts to identify the existence of any additional classified records that are not properly being stored. So now there are more classified documents after we had how many agents there? Looking in every nook and cranny and in underwear drawers and Barron's, pillowcase or whatever.
So if these records were so dangerous in President Trump's hands at Mar-a-Lago, why did Biden, why did Attorney General Merrick Garland, why did they wait 18 months to go get them? This is a total political hit on a former president because they're fearful he's going to be the president again. And they also know that President Trump declassified on January 19th, 2021 and took the Crossfire hurricane records that are so damaging politically for Obama, Biden, Hillary, the FBI, the intel community.
Seems like they're really afraid of Donald Trump. They just want him to cry uncle and say, I'm going to go away. Never going to be in public life again, and we'll drop all our investigations. Panel, great insights, all of you, tonight. Thank you.